Hey y'all, Herbal Prepper here, and today this is going to be like a continuance of another video. The Black Willow bark tincture that I've already uploaded, I did not show you guys how to strain it up. Most of the videos I don't show how to strain up just because it's really very simple. You just do exactly as it says. You strain it up with like a cheesecloth or some type of material. And then I always take this and the material, or the product, excuse me, after it's been massacrated for however long I decided to do it, and I just throw it as compost. I mean, there's no sense in me throwing it in my garbage can. I can just throw it back out in the yard. And then you bottle it. I mean, that's really it. But I did want to just show one video. That way you guys could reference back to it if you needed to. So let me get this straight here. And just a quick reminder, this is Black Willow. Some people will actually use white willow. I mean, there are so many different types of willow. And I just use what I have on hand. Now, I wildcrafted this. I got it from my mother's yard. And this is all of the, I use some of the inner bark as well. The best part of this is the actual bark, and then just slightly under that, the outer bark is what you're going to use most of. You can pull it right off the stems, and then just slightly under that, like a yellowy look to the bark that has a lot of the medicinal properties of the willow tree in it. And so just for sake of my fingers and having to shred everything off, I just threw a couple of the big pieces of bark in there, and it's not going to hurt anything. It will soften up after a while. I mean, alcohol is a pretty strong solvent. And so this has been sitting for about 6 weeks, give or take. I have not really been watching it. That's the great thing about tinctures, is you really don't have to sit there and babysit it. The only thing you really want to do, especially with the first week, is shake it. You're doing that so you can agitate the material, because you want it to be as strong as possible. Now, if you want, you can reference back to the video where I first made this. This was clear. After a few minutes of shaking, it got a little darker. But as you can see, it's pretty dark right now. I'm trying to tip it without spilling. Let me see. It's really dark, and as you can see, it's not as full as it was when I first made it, because I have been dipping into it and getting a few spoonfuls of it out to use for me and my husband, and if I've had a headache or something. So I do plan on making more after I do this today. So what I'll do is I'll just take a clean, sterilized, and I sterilize mine by washing them, throw them in the dishwasher, letting them dry completely. You want to have no water in it whatsoever. And then I just take a shirt. My husband, he works out, and so he buys t-shirts and he cuts off the sleeves, and then I use the sleeve part as the strainer, because cheesecloth gets very expensive with as much medicine or vitamins or anything that I make for myself and my family. So let me get something to pull it out. Okay, so you just want to strain it up. I always like to pour the liquid first, and so you guys can see. I hope you guys can see. Let me see. Yep. Okay, and then I always use wood. I don't use aluminum because I don't want the metal to leach. And so I want to just use something to where I know I'm not going to have problems later on down the road with leaching. And that's why you also don't want to, if you're making an infusion, and I'll be doing a lot of those on the video. I've just been so busy here lately, guys. But if you're doing an infusion or something, you want to make sure you do it. I always do like a bath. I will do a glass inside of a pot with water. You never want to use metal, and because that'll end up leaching into your product. And then I just take it and I remove the rubber band that was holding it, and then I just squeeze it. And you don't think there's going to be a lot, but you actually get more than what you think you will. And you can smell that alcohol. It's real strong smelling. And I'll take a little bowl where I can. And some people have presses to where you can actually just stick this in something and get literally every bit of it out, but I just go with my hands, old-fashioned way. And then I dump it, and I start the process over. Now, because this is already slightly heavy, it shouldn't fall, but I will go ahead and put the rubber band back on just in case it's wet, and so it'll help hold on, grip to the sides of the mason jar. And this was, as you see, I've got all different types of things in here. That's a stem, and it's pretty soft now. I mean, that's what that alcohol does. Shoo, it's strong. I'll have to do it one more time. And you want to make sure you have clean hands too. I mean, you don't want to be digging in the yard or messing with anything that you really shouldn't and then go squeezing it off. Alcohol is going to sterilize things, but you still want to take as many precautions as possible. And you'll actually smell, it'll smell just like alcohol, but you'll have a different smell to it. It won't smell, see, all that last bit is the best. It won't smell identical to alcohol because, of course, now it has the properties of the plant in it that makes up the medicinal properties of the plant, and you'll actually be able to smell that. And I will rinse my hands off really quick because I don't want my hands burning. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to label it Black Willow. Black Willow, and then what I do is I just do it with paper because I don't like my my jars to have sticky residue on them. I'm OCD about it. I know I can use my husband's brake cleaner, but that's really it. You just label it, and there's your medicine, and then you would take it from that point and you would bottle it up. And it's very simple. You just pour that. I take a funnel, I pour that into here, and then I will take a few drops under my tongue if I've cut this down, because like I said, I use very high proof. And after that, and that's it. That's all you do. And it's that simple. And this will last you years because of the alcohol, as long as it's stored properly in a cool, dark area, in which I stick mine in a box, and then I try to stick that box into another box, just so I don't have any of the sun's rays breaking the tincture down, and it stores for a long time. And so there you go, guys. There's something for after the crap hits the fan, and it can be used multiple different ways depending on the herb and the properties of the herb. You can use it topically, you can use it under your tongue, sublingually, you can take it in liquid. I mean, there's many different uses, and you can sterilize things if you have a cut and you're willing to deal with the alcohol burn. It's great, guys. It's really something that you can use post-apocalypse, whatever your doomsday scenario is, or whatever the reason is that you're prepping. So I urge all of you to look into tinctures and herbs of any kind, so that you can definitely take care of yourself and your family after the crap hits the fan. Until next time, guys, peace out.